The final scene shifts to the galactic stage. Earth's first ambassador, a woman who had played a key role in the war, steps onto the Galactic Council platform. The weight of the moment is palpable. She is not just any diplomat, she is the symbol of humanity's resilience, strength, and defiance. Her eyes are steady, filled with the unyielding confidence that Earth's victory has earned them a place among the stars. As she steps forward, the council chamber falls silent. For the first time, Earth's voice will be heard among the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. The ambassador looks out at the council, her message clear: Earth is here to stay. The galaxy will no longer ignore or underestimate them. With a steady hand, she places her signature on the council's agreement, signaling that humanity is now a respected member of the galactic community. It is a moment of triumph, not just for the ambassador but for every human who had fought, suffered, and sacrificed for this moment. The camera pulls back as the ambassador stands tall, her figure silhouetted against the vast expanse of space. The Galactic Council is not a place where humanity has been welcome in the past, but now Earth has earned its seat at the table. The message has been sent: the galaxy will never forget the strength of humanity. But as the ambassador takes her place, a sense of foreboding lingers in the air. The humans have won this battle, but the galaxy is vast and other threats may lie ahead. Still, humanity is no longer afraid. They've proven that they can stand up to the greatest empire in the universe, and they will continue to rise, to fight, and to never be underestimated again. The screen fades to black, and the words appear: humanity's journey has just begun. The galaxy, once a place of fear and uncertainty for Earth, now holds endless possibilities. The war may have ended, but the real adventure has just begun. Humanity is ready to step into the stars, to explore, to learn, and to continue proving that they will never back down. Earth's message is clear: we are here. And we are not going anywhere. The final shot is of Earth, glowing brightly from space, a symbol of hope and defiance, as the galaxy watches in awe. Humanity, once the underdog, has emerged as a force that cannot be ignored. The universe will never be the same again. The Galactic Empire had been defeated, but the cost had been high. Humanity had proven that even in the face of overwhelming odds, they could stand strong. The unexpected strength of the human spirit had triumphed over the greatest empire the galaxy had ever seen. In the aftermath of the battle, as Earth's fleet returned home, the people of Earth celebrated their hard-won victory. They had not only defeated an empire, they had proven that they would never be underestimated again. The message was clear: never underestimate Earth. The dust of battle had settled, and Earth, battered but unbroken, stood victorious. The humans had done the impossible: they had defeated the Galactic Empire, a force that had once seemed unbeatable. The war was over, but the victory had come at a tremendous cost. The scars left by the conflict were deep, and the path to recovery would be long. Yet, despite the pain and loss, humanity had proven one undeniable truth: they were a force to be reckoned with. In the aftermath of the final battle, the Galactic Empire, humiliated and broken, had no choice but to agree to a ceasefire. Their once mighty fleet was in ruins, their AI-controlled weapons systems crippled, and their leadership in disarray. Commander Zarek, defeated and unable to maintain control over his shattered forces, had to accept the inevitable. The war was over, and the Galactic Empire had lost. The humans, though weary from the conflict, felt a surge of pride. Their unity and resilience had carried them through the darkest of times. The destruction they had witnessed, the loss of so many of their own, was still fresh in their minds, but they knew that they had earned something much more important: respect. They had sent a clear message to the galaxy, a message that no one, no matter how powerful, should ever underestimate Earth again. Earth's leaders, now in a position of power, quickly seized the opportunity to send a powerful statement to the galaxy. In a broadcast that reached every corner of the universe, Earth's representative sent a single, resolute message: never underestimate us again. It wasn't just a warning, it was a declaration. Humanity had earned its place in the stars, and the galaxy would have to acknowledge that. The once weak species that had been on the brink of destruction was now a force to be reckoned with. Earth had proven that, no matter how technologically superior an enemy might be, the strength of the human spirit could overcome anything. But this victory was not an end, it was only the beginning. As the message echoed across the galaxy, the humans knew that they had only just begun to carve their place in this vast, unknown universe. The war had been won, but the challenges ahead were just as great. The Galactic Empire, although defeated, still had remnants scattered across the galaxy. Other threats, unknown and dangerous, could rise to take their place. And humanity, having tasted the power of the stars, would need to prepare for whatever came next. The war had united humanity, but it had also changed them. Earth's leaders now looked beyond their planet. They had tasted victory, and they would never let anyone take that away. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: humanity had the will to survive, and no empire, no matter how powerful, could ever take that away. In the closing scenes, the camera pans across the Earth as it begins to rebuild, the scars of war slowly fading under the effort of millions of people working together. The cities, once destroyed, are now being rebuilt with new technologies, made possible by the knowledge gained during the war. Humanity, though forever changed, begins to heal, and a sense of hope fills the air. The moment they had been waiting for was now at hand. The leader of the resistance, a human known for his strategic brilliance, entered the code into the terminal. The virus was ready to be uploaded. But just as they were about to complete the upload, the team's security was breached by an enemy squadron. Realizing that they might not survive the coming attack, one of the resistance fighters, a pilot who had played a crucial role in Earth's fleet, made the ultimate sacrifice. He volunteered to stay behind and ensure that the virus was fully uploaded, even if it meant his death. With one final, determined look at his comrades, he activated the upload and locked the door behind him, sealing his fate. His sacrifice gave the rest of the team a chance to escape, and the virus was now in the heart of the Empire's mainframe. Back in space, the effects of the virus began to take hold. One by one, the Empire's fleet started to falter. The AI systems that had once controlled their weapons and defenses began to shut down, rendering their ships vulnerable to attack. The flagship, which had once seemed invincible, was now a sitting duck in the midst of the battle. The Empire's once immense strength was crumbling before humanity's very eyes. The humans, now armed with the knowledge of how to defeat the Empire's advanced tech, launched their final assault. Their ships closed in on the flagship, targeting its core systems. The once feared warships of the Galactic Empire, now without their AI defenses, were helpless against the onslaught. Explosions erupted across the flagship's hull as human fighters unleashed a devastating barrage of energy blasts. The flagship, once the symbol of the Empire's power, began to fall. Its shields buckled, and its weapons went silent. With one final, powerful explosion, the flagship was destroyed. The Galactic Empire's command center was in ruins. The Galactic Empire, stunned by the unexpected turn of events, began to retreat. What was supposed to be a swift victory had turned into a humiliating defeat. Commander Zarek, watching in horror as his fleet fell apart, had no choice but to pull back. The humans had won. As the battle ended, Earth's fleet hovered in the vast expanse of space, victorious but battered. The humans had paid a heavy price, and many lives had been lost. But they had emerged victorious. The Galactic Empire, once thought to be invincible, had been defeated by the very species it had underestimated. Victory, however, came with a deep sense of sacrifice. The human pilot who had ensured the virus's success had given his life for the greater good. His act of bravery would forever be remembered as the turning point of the war. His death was a tragic reminder of the price of freedom, but it also galvanized humanity's resolve to never give up, no matter the cost. The final battle had been fought, and Earth had won. But the victory was bittersweet. The humans had learned from their mistakes and adapted to every challenge the Empire had thrown at them. Their unity, resilience, and the sheer will to survive had created a force that, against all odds, was capable of facing down the greatest military power in the galaxy. And now, all that remained was the final battle. Earth's fleet gathered at the edge of the Empire's territory, ready for the climactic showdown. The massive, terrifying ships of the Galactic Empire loomed in the distance, a stark reminder of the enemy they had to defeat. But this time, the humans were no longer afraid. They had a plan, they had the element of surprise, and they had the determination to win. The battle began with a thunderous clash in the cold, dark void of space. Earth's fleet launched a coordinated, all-out attack on the Empire's flagship, the heart of their power. The humans knew that to defeat the Empire, they had to destroy this flagship. It was the brain of the alien fleet, and if they could take it down, they could disable the entire Empire's forces. Humanity deployed every advanced weapon they had developed, each one more powerful than anything they had used before. Explosions rocked the space around them as Earth's ships fired laser beams, plasma cannons, and missiles, all aimed at the massive alien ships. For every strike the humans delivered, the Empire retaliated with their own devastating firepower. The battle was fierce, and casualties mounted on both sides, but Earth's forces were relentless. In the heart of the battle, the human ships fought with everything they had. The clash of advanced technologies reverberated through space as both sides exchanged blows, each side refusing to back down. The humans had come a long way from the days when they were outmatched and outgunned by the Empire. Now, they were the ones making the Empire's ships shake in fear. But amidst the chaos of the battle, the human forces knew that they needed to do more than just fight. They needed to sabotage the Empire's ability to retaliate. The key to victory lay in disabling the Empire's flagship and its AI-controlled weapons systems. Humanity had learned that this was the only way to render the fleet vulnerable and stop the Empire once and for all. It was then that an unexpected act of heroism changed the course of the battle. A small group of resistance fighters, led by the surviving leaders of Earth's rebellion, had managed to infiltrate the flagship. The mission was risky, and the odds of success were slim, but they knew it was their last chance to bring the war to an end. The team's objective was clear: upload a virus into the Empire's mainframe, one that would disrupt the alien AI systems controlling their weapons and defenses. As they fought their way through the flagship, the resistance fighters encountered heavy opposition from the Empire's elite forces. But their determination never wavered. With every step they took, they came closer to their goal. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of gunfights, close calls, and narrow escapes, they reached the mainframe. In their tireless research, Earth scientists discovered a weakness hidden deep within the alien technology. The AI-controlled weapons systems that powered the Galactic Empire's ships, the same systems that had made their fleet nearly invincible, had one critical flaw: they lacked the ability to adapt to unforeseen variables. In simple terms, these AI systems were programmed to recognize and counter specific threats, but they were not capable of dealing with unpredictable situations. They relied on patterns, and when humans used strategies that defied those patterns, the Empire's technology would fail. It was a revelation that sent shockwaves through Earth's military command. The Empire's vast, powerful fleet, with all its advanced technology, could be defeated, if they could exploit this weakness. But the discovery came with its own set of challenges. How could Earth's forces exploit this flaw in the heat of battle? And more importantly, how could they do it before the Empire launched its final, crushing assault? The answer came swiftly. With their new fleet of ships, humans would launch a massive assault on the Empire's command center. Their goal was to disrupt the AI systems controlling the fleet, creating chaos within the Empire's ranks. This final battle would be humanity's last stand, and everything, Earth's survival and its future, rested on the success of this mission. To carry out this mission, Earth's forces needed to be swift, precise, and overwhelming. The fleet of ships, now fully operational, was ready for the task. Each ship was equipped with advanced cloaking technology, allowing them to infiltrate the heart of the Empire's fleet undetected. But the element of surprise wouldn't be enough. To exploit the weakness in the Empire's AI, the humans needed to find a way to disable the communication networks that controlled the fleet's weapons systems. Earth's brightest minds worked tirelessly, devising a plan. They would use a combination of jamming technology, electronic warfare, and carefully coordinated strikes to break the communication links between the Empire's ships and their central command. Once the AI-controlled weapons systems were disconnected, the Empire's fleet would be left vulnerable, unable to defend itself. It would be humanity's chance to strike a decisive blow. The plan was risky. The Empire's fleet, despite its vulnerabilities, was still a formidable force. And Commander Zarek, furious and determined to finish the war, would stop at nothing to prevent the humans from succeeding. The stakes were higher than ever. If humanity failed, the Empire would crush them once and for all. But if they succeeded, they could turn the tide of the war and bring an end to the Galactic Empire's invasion. The countdown began. Earth's new fleet of ships, led by some of the most skilled pilots and tacticians the planet had ever produced, prepared for the assault. The fate of humanity rested in their hands. As the humans closed in on the Empire's fleet, the tension was palpable. This was not just a battle for survival, it was the final confrontation. Earth's forces moved like a coordinated unit, each ship in perfect alignment, ready to strike when the time was right. The humans knew that this would be their only chance. If they failed, the Empire would crush them. But if they succeeded, the Empire's hold on the galaxy would be broken, and Earth would emerge victorious. In the final moments before the assault, the human fleet entered the vast expanse of space, making their way toward the heart of the Empire's fleet. The ships, cloaked and invisible to the alien sensors, moved like shadows, slipping closer to the command center. It was the turning point. The humans had discovered the Empire's weakness, and they were ready to exploit it. The time had come. The fate of Earth, and the future of the entire human race, hung in the balance. After years of suffering under the threat of the Galactic Empire's overwhelming might, humanity had come together like never before. Now, with their new fleet, their advanced weapons, and their knowledge of the Empire's vulnerabilities, Earth was ready to strike back. But little did Zarek know, the greatest challenge was yet to come. The loss of their leader had ignited something in humanity. It had sparked a fire that would burn brighter with every passing day, and it would soon turn the tide of the war. The Galactic Empire had underestimated Earth before, and now they would face the consequences of their mistake. Zarek's rage would only fuel the fire of humanity's vengeance, and it would lead to the final confrontation that would determine the fate of the galaxy. The human race had never faced such a dire threat. Earth was under attack by a galactic empire far more advanced than anything humanity had ever encountered. The odds seemed insurmountable. Yet, against all expectation, the people of Earth were not broken. Instead, they had come together with a resolve unlike any seen before. The very survival of their species was at stake, and humanity's instinct to fight for its future had been ignited. In the wake of General Carter's death, Earth's resistance movements, once scattered and disorganized, began to unite. What had been small groups of soldiers, scientists, and civilians, each trying to hold their own, now joined forces under one banner. Earth's forces became a singular, powerful force, each individual committed to fighting back the alien invaders. The military and the scientists, working side by side, now formed an unshakable alliance. They pooled their resources, skills, and knowledge to build a fleet of ships unlike anything the galaxy had seen. These ships, created using advanced alien technology, were the result of months of backbreaking work. By reverse engineering alien weaponry and combining it with humanity's ingenuity, Earth had created a new fleet capable of standing toe-to-toe with the Empires. These ships, faster and more agile than anything the Galactic Empire had, were now ready for combat. And it wasn't just about the ships, the humans had also designed new weapons and defensive systems, powered by the alien technology they had taken from the wreckage of fallen ships. Humanity was no longer defenseless, they had become a force to be reckoned with. This new fleet, however, was more than just a collection of advanced ships. It was a symbol of Earth's unity, of the resilience of a species that would not surrender. It was a message to the Galactic Empire: humanity would not go down without a fight. Meanwhile, the struggle on the ground continued. Earth's cities, still battered from previous alien attacks, were now becoming bastions of resistance. Every corner of the planet saw citizens, scientists, engineers, factory workers, and soldiers, working together to build, repair, and fight. The fight for survival had become personal for every human on Earth, and the determination to protect their home burned in their hearts. The Empire, on the other hand, had begun to grow complacent. They had underestimated humanity from the start, but after so many victories, they believed that Earth's forces were simply delaying the inevitable. Commander Zarek, still consumed by his personal vendetta against Earth, was determined to crush the human resistance once and for all. But even he couldn't deny the growing sense of unease among his fleet. The humans were proving more capable than anyone had anticipated, and Zarek could sense that something was changing. It was then that humanity stumbled upon the key to victory, something they had never expected to find. A flaw in the Empire's fleet. As the Council's reprimands echoed in his mind, Zarek devised a new plan. No longer would he rely solely on the Empire's fleet to crush humanity. This time, he would lead the charge himself. He would take matters into his own hands and strike at the heart of Earth's resistance. He would show them what true power looked like. The stage was set for Zarek's personal revenge, but he did not expect that his greatest challenge would come from within. Despite his mounting rage, there was still the matter of Earth's relentless defense, and more importantly, the people who were leading that defense. The human leaders, ordinary men and women, had inspired their people to fight harder, to hold their ground, and to never surrender. One such leader, General Elias Carter, had become a symbol of humanity's resilience. Carter was not just a military commander, he was the face of Earth's fight for survival. His bravery, determination, and inspiring speeches had united the planet's forces and bolstered their resolve. He had become the rallying cry for millions of soldiers, civilians, and fighters who were determined to protect their home. But Zarek had a plan to eliminate this symbol of hope. During a crucial mission, as Earth's forces launched a daring strike on the alien fleet, General Carter took part in a high-risk operation. He and his team, equipped with the latest human-made alien technology, infiltrated an enemy stronghold in a bid to cripple the heart of the Galactic Empire's control over Earth's skies. The plan was to plant explosives deep within the alien command center and disable the Empire's communication network, which would give Earth's forces a strategic advantage. As Carter and his team approached their target, Zarek's fleet was already on high alert. The mission was highly dangerous, but the humans had no choice. They had to strike back before the Empire could launch another full-scale invasion. General Carter knew the risk, but he also knew that if he didn't act, humanity's chances of survival would be severely limited. With precision and discipline, Carter's team made their way through the alien defenses. But as they planted the explosives and set the timer, disaster struck. In a heart-wrenching twist, just as they were preparing to evacuate, the compound was hit by a surprise alien counterattack. Explosions rocked the ground beneath their feet, and debris rained down from above. In the chaos, a massive explosion tore through the command center, killing General Carter and his team instantly. The death of General Carter sent shockwaves through Earth's forces. He had been the embodiment of their hope and defiance, and now he was gone. The loss was devastating, but it also had the opposite effect of what the Galactic Empire had hoped. Instead of breaking humanity's spirit, Carter's death became the fuel that ignited an even stronger resolve in the hearts of the Earthlings. His sacrifice was not in vain. It only made the humans more determined to fight. News of the general's death spread across the world, and it sparked a wave of grief, but also a surge of defiance. People who had never picked up a weapon before now volunteered to join the fight. The streets were filled with the sound of people marching to the front lines, ready to avenge their fallen leader and defend their planet. Carter's death became a rallying cry, and Earth's forces grew stronger than ever. Commander Zarek, in his arrogance, believed that by eliminating their symbol of hope, he had crushed the human resistance. But he had miscalculated. The humans were not fighting for one man, they were fighting for their home, their families, and their future. The loss of General Carter only galvanized them, and they fought with a fierceness that was unimaginable. Zarek watched from his command ship as the humans rallied around Carter's memory, their forces swelling in number. For all his rage and personal vendetta, he was beginning to understand something he had never considered before: humans were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting for each other. And that, in his mind, made them infinitely more dangerous than any army he had ever faced. As Earth's forces closed in on the remnants of the alien fleet, the final confrontation loomed. The sky above Earth was filled with the wreckage of warships, some of them human, but most of them alien. The once dominant Galactic Empire was now on the verge of defeat. The humans had not only survived, they had adapted and fought back with everything they had. The final assault had begun, and it was clear that Earth had no intention of giving up. With each explosion, each burst of energy, and each moment of battle, the humans were proving that no matter how advanced the enemy might be, humanity's spirit could never be broken. As the war raged on, it became evident that the Galactic Empire had underestimated Earth, and now they were paying the price. The final stand had begun. The aliens had underestimated Earth's resilience, and now, it was the Empire that would have to face the consequences. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, and the humans had fought their way to the final battle. This was their last stand. And it was one they were determined to win. The war had dragged on longer than anyone expected, and with each passing day, the once confident Commander Zarek felt the weight of failure bearing down on him. The Galactic Empire's mighty fleet, led by the most feared warlord in the galaxy, had come to Earth with one clear mission: annihilate humanity. But what had started as a swift and inevitable conquest had now become a prolonged nightmare. Zarek had been confident. He had faced countless enemies over his long military career, and the Galactic Empire had always come out victorious. Their advanced technology, unmatched weaponry, and overwhelming numbers had made them the dominant force in the galaxy. But Earth was proving to be different. It was a problem Zarek had never expected, and it was one that was beginning to unravel his once unshakable confidence. The Galactic Empire's ruling council, the highest authority in the galaxy, had grown restless. They had watched as Zarek's invasion of Earth stalled, as the humans fought back with ingenuity and determination that no one could have predicted. The Earthlings had not only survived, they had adapted, and worse, they had started to win. The ruling council was demanding results, and Zarek could feel their pressure mounting. The once proud commander, who had conquered entire star systems, was now being questioned. In a tense, private meeting with the council, Zarek's mind raced. He was used to handling pressure, but this was different. The cold, detached voices of the council members, accusing him of failure, pushed him to the edge. They questioned his ability to finish the mission, their words sharp and cutting. His honor, his career, and his very future were now on the line. If he didn't bring an end to the human resistance soon, his position, and perhaps his life, would be in jeopardy. Zarek's fury began to boil over. He was not accustomed to failure, and he would not let this insignificant planet ruin his legacy. The pressure from the council only fueled his rage, turning it into a personal vendetta against Earth. He would destroy this planet, not just to complete his mission, but to prove to the Empire, and to himself, that he was still the most powerful force in the galaxy. He would make Earth suffer. And he would do it personally. On the ground, humans had adapted to the alien technology as well. Soldiers equipped with cloaking devices, energy weapons, and armor powered by the artifact's energy fought alongside human-made drones and AI units. The combination of human ingenuity and alien technology made Earth's forces formidable, and the battlefield was now a chaotic, unpredictable war zone. Commander Zarek watched from the command bridge of his flagship, his face a mask of fury. The humans had turned the tide. What was supposed to be a routine strike was quickly becoming a disaster for his empire. He had sent the most powerful ships in his fleet to crush Earth's defenses, but now, his ships were being torn apart by the very weapons they had once thought belonged only to the most advanced civilizations. The Empire's warships had begun to falter, and for the first time in the war, they were retreating, forced to regroup. Zarek's mind raced, trying to devise a counter-strategy. How had the humans become so powerful so quickly? They were still vastly outnumbered, and yet they had begun to dominate the skies. What had they found? Unbeknownst to him, the secret of Earth's new strength lay in the ancient alien artifact that had been unearthed. The artifact's energy had given humanity an edge they had never dreamed of, but it wasn't just about the shields and the weapons. It was also about understanding the weaknesses of the Empire. The artifact had allowed Earth's scientists and military strategists to decipher the inner workings of alien technology. They had learned to disable enemy ships' weapons, disrupt their communication networks, and even jam their navigation systems. The humans had not just mastered the technology, they had found ways to make it work against the very forces that once sought to destroy them. As Earth's forces began to press forward, the battle escalated. Human ships engaged the alien fleet with unprecedented speed and precision. Missiles launched from human warships, aimed directly at the vulnerable points in the alien ships' hulls, causing devastating explosions. The humans knew the Empire's fleet well now, and each attack was designed to hit the weakest points. It was as if they had learned to think like the enemy. In Earth's orbit, a massive clash took place. The sky lit up with flashes of bright energy beams, explosions, and the remnants of destroyed ships. The once pristine heavens were now a chaotic battleground, with massive warships colliding, energy weapons lighting up the darkness, and debris scattered everywhere. It was a battle on an unimaginable scale, and both sides were throwing everything they had into it. One of Earth's key tactics was to use the energy shield strategically. These shields were not only protective but offensive as well. By channeling energy into the shields, human ships could create devastating blasts that sent enemy ships flying across the sky, their shields failing under the sheer force. It wasn't just about surviving the attack anymore, it was about striking back with such force that the aliens were left reeling. Back on Earth, the human resistance grew stronger by the minute. Soldiers, equipped with alien tech, launched surprise attacks on the remaining alien ground forces, while Earth's cities, protected by the shields, remained safe. The aliens' assault on the planet had stalled, and their once unified front had begun to crumble. Commander Zarek's rage grew. His forces were retreating, and his fleet was crumbling under the weight of the unexpected resistance. But he refused to accept defeat. With the last remnants of his strength, he ordered a final, all-out attack on Earth. He sent his most powerful ships into the heart of the battlefield, determined to crush the human rebellion once and for all. Commander Zarek, unaware of the humans' growing power, continued to plan his invasion. He ordered his fleet to move into position, preparing for the final strike against Earth. His focus was solely on the destruction of the human race, unaware that the humans now possessed a weapon that could potentially disrupt his entire fleet. The tension between the two sides was reaching a boiling point. The Galactic Empire, with its overwhelming power and advanced technology, was preparing for an all-out assault. But the humans had something the Empire did not, the power to disrupt their technology. Earth had discovered the key to survival, and it was a power unlike anything the Empire had ever faced. As the Empire's ships drew closer, Earth's forces stood ready, knowing that their survival depended on one final chance. The race against time had begun, and the fate of the planet hung in the balance. The Galactic Empire may have thought it could crush Earth without consequence, but they had underestimated humanity once again. The revelation had arrived. Earth had found its weapon, and the war was about to take a dangerous turn. The first victory had been won, but the true test was yet to come, the final battle was imminent. The Galactic Empire had gathered its forces for one last assault on Earth. Commander Zarek, furious and determined to finish what his fleet had started, was confident that this time, victory would be swift and decisive. After all, Earth had no chance against the overwhelming might of the Empire. They had underestimated humanity before, but now, with their technological advances, they were convinced there was no way the humans could survive this time. However, what Zarek did not anticipate was the newfound strength of Earth's resistance. For the first time since the invasion began, the humans were no longer scrambling for survival. They were fighting back with everything they had, and the tables were starting to turn. The discovery and reverse engineering of the ancient alien artifact had changed everything. It had unlocked a new power that Earth's forces were beginning to master. With energy shields, advanced weapons, and the ability to disrupt the Empire's technology, humanity had leveled the playing field. The Galactic Empire had always relied on its technological superiority, confident that no force in the galaxy could challenge them. But now, Earth had learned to use the very technology the Empire had once used to dominate the stars. And the results were becoming evident. Human forces, emboldened by the power of the artifact, were pushing back against the Empire's advancing forces. The scene in Earth's orbit was chaotic. Alien ships, once invincible in their destructive might, were now struggling to keep up with the sudden rise of humanity's defenses. The once unshakable confidence of the Empire's fleet was starting to crack. As the first wave of alien ships entered Earth's orbit, they encountered something they had not anticipated: energy shields that protected Earth's major cities and military bases, rendering their weapons ineffective. These shields, powered by the alien artifact, created a barrier that no enemy fire could penetrate. And for the first time, human ships armed with advanced weapons, including energy-based guns and missiles, began to retaliate. The aliens had thought they would sweep through Earth's defenses without resistance. Instead, they were faced with a force unlike anything they had encountered before. A fierce battle raged in the skies above Earth, the two sides clashing in an epic struggle. Explosions lit up the heavens as alien warships fired their destructive energy beams, only to see them dissipate harmlessly against the human shields. Earth's military, once hopelessly outmatched, now found itself on the offensive. A team of Earth's best scientists, engineers, and military strategists were quickly assembled to study the artifact. The experts worked day and night, poring over its intricate design, trying to understand its purpose. It wasn't easy. The technology was so advanced that it seemed almost incomprehensible. But as they carefully examined its structure, they realized that the artifact could be reverse engineered. It contained the secret to tapping into an unimaginable source of energy that could potentially rival anything the Galactic Empire had at their disposal. Weeks of intense research followed. The humans, now fully aware of the power they had stumbled upon, pushed forward with a sense of urgency. The artifact's ability to harness energy, to manipulate it on a galactic scale, became the key to their survival. If they could unlock its secrets, they could finally challenge the Empire's might. The potential of the artifact was staggering. It could power entire fleets, create impenetrable shields, and even disrupt the very technology that the aliens used to dominate the galaxy. But it wasn't just about the raw power of the artifact, it was about the knowledge it represented. This piece of ancient technology held the key to understanding the weaknesses of the Galactic Empire. The scientists discovered that the artifact could interfere with the Empire's advanced communication systems and energy-based weapons. It could disrupt the very core of their technology, weakening the Empire's control over their fleet. The excitement on Earth was palpable. For the first time, humanity had something that could give them an edge. The artifact was not just a weapon, it was a game-changer. It was the glimmer of hope the human race needed. Earth's engineers and military leaders worked in secret, racing to reverse engineer the technology and develop it into something that could be used in battle. They knew that if they were to stand any chance against the Empire, they needed to act quickly. While Earth's forces were busy with their newfound discovery, the Galactic Empire was far from idle. Commander Zarek, still seething with anger over the unexpected failure of his fleet, was already planning his next move. His fleet had suffered a serious setback due to the disruption in their communications, and it was clear to him that the humans had managed to find some way to interfere with their operations. His frustration was mounting, but he remained confident. He had underestimated Earth before, but he would not make that mistake again. Zarek's anger burned hotter as he watched Earth's defenses grow stronger. The humans had no advanced technology to match the Empire, but now it seemed that they had something far more dangerous: knowledge. He couldn't afford to let them develop this new technology. If the humans were able to harness the power of the artifact, it could spell the end of his empire's domination. The situation was growing more tense by the day. The Galactic Empire's forces regrouped, rebuilding their fleet and preparing for the next assault. Zarek's orders were clear: Earth had to be annihilated, and the humans had to be crushed before they could use the artifact against them. The Empire's best warships were being sent to Earth's orbit, and preparations were underway for a full-scale invasion. Back on Earth, the pressure was mounting. The humans had only a short window of time before the next wave of attacks arrived. They had to finish reverse engineering the alien technology, or it would all be for nothing. But with every passing day, they uncovered more secrets of the artifact, and its power grew. The technology was more complex than they had ever imagined, but with every breakthrough, they came closer to unlocking its full potential. Earth's engineers were working tirelessly, pushing the limits of human ingenuity to make sure they could weaponize the technology before it was too late. The artifact's power was growing stronger. Its energy output surged, and the first tests showed promise. The scientists were able to harness a fraction of its power, creating small energy pulses that disrupted communication signals and temporarily disabled alien weaponry. It was clear that the artifact could be used as a weapon against the Galactic Empire. The humans had finally found their way to fight back, but they were running out of time. The task force made it back to their ship just as the alien warship retaliated, firing on Earth's defenses. They barely escaped the explosion, their cloaks saving them from detection once more. As they traveled back to Earth, Captain Hayes allowed herself a moment of relief. They had done it. They had struck the first blow against the Empire. Back on Earth, the results of the mission rippled through the global communications networks. News outlets buzzed with reports of the unexpected disruption in the alien fleet. The military scrambled to confirm the details, but the fact was clear: humanity had landed its first victory. The Galactic Empire, for all its technological superiority, had been stunned. Commander Zarek, standing on the bridge of his flagship, seethed with rage. His fleet was in disarray, and his once unshakable confidence had been rattled. The humans had done something he hadn't thought possible. He had underestimated them, and now they had forced the Empire into disarray. In a cold fury, he ordered a retaliatory strike on Earth, but deep down, he knew this was no longer a simple conquest. The humans were proving to be far more resilient than he had imagined. Zarek's mind raced as he considered their next move. Earth had no advanced technology, no vast armies. Yet, they had somehow caused a moment of vulnerability in the Empire's near-invincible fleet. He realized something terrifying: the humans were learning. They were adapting, and they were beginning to understand the weaknesses of the Empire. The war had just taken a dangerous turn. Back on Earth, the victory was celebrated as a beacon of hope. The battle was far from over, but humanity had proven one thing: they were not going to go down without a fight. The spark of resistance had turned into a blazing fire, and the Galactic Empire was about to learn that underestimating Earth was a grave mistake. The first victory had been won, but the true battle was just beginning. The war with the Galactic Empire was far from over, but something had shifted. Despite Earth's initial struggles, a spark of hope had been ignited. The humans had shown the Empire that they weren't going to surrender easily. But Earth was still outmatched, and the aliens were regrouping, preparing to finish what they had started. However, deep beneath the ruins of an ancient city on Earth, a discovery was about to change everything. It had been buried for centuries, forgotten by time and lost to the annals of history. An archaeological team, working in the desolate remnants of a long-forgotten civilization, stumbled upon something remarkable. As they unearthed the layers of dirt and stone, they uncovered a massive, intricately designed artifact buried deep beneath the ruins. At first, it seemed like nothing more than an ancient relic, a relic that had once belonged to a long-lost civilization of Earth, long since forgotten. But when they examined it more closely, the truth became undeniable. This wasn't just an artifact from Earth's past. It was something far older. The artifact seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy, as though it had been waiting for someone to find it. The team of archaeologists and scientists quickly realized that it was not of human origin at all. The structure of the artifact was alien, unlike anything Earth's experts had seen before. And as they began to study it more closely, a shocking revelation emerged. This artifact was from a long-lost alien civilization that had once ruled the galaxy, predating even the Galactic Empire. The artifact, hidden for so many centuries, seemed to be a piece of ancient technology, a powerful relic from a civilization that had disappeared long ago. What was even more astonishing was that it appeared to possess immense energy, a kind of energy source that could be harnessed on a galactic scale. The discovery sent shockwaves through Earth's scientific community. No one had expected something like this, and the implications were far-reaching. Inside the alien flagship, the soldiers moved quickly through the dark corridors, using the cloak to avoid patrols and cameras. They were a small group, but they had a singular focus: reach the communications hub and shut it down. They knew it wouldn't be easy. The alien ship was teeming with soldiers, automated defense systems, and surveillance. Every step they took was fraught with danger, but they pressed on, each step bringing them closer to their objective. As they neared the central communications room, Captain Hayes signaled for a halt. They had reached their destination, but there was one last obstacle: a heavily armed alien guard standing in front of the door. The soldiers knew that they couldn't just overpower the guard. The element of surprise was their advantage, and if they lost it, the entire mission would fail. Captain Hayes made a decision. She gave the signal, and one of her soldiers, Specialist David Cruz, crept forward, his cloaking device masking his movements. In a swift motion, Cruz knocked out the guard, disabling the alien with a quick, non-lethal strike. They had no time to waste, this was their moment. The door to the communications room opened, and the team flooded inside. The room was massive, filled with rows of alien consoles and communication equipment. The soldiers quickly set to work, planting explosives and disabling the systems. They had to ensure that the alien fleet would be temporarily blinded, unable to communicate with each other or issue orders for at least a few crucial hours. Every second counted. As they worked, Captain Hayes couldn't help but feel a surge of hope. They were actually doing it. They were infiltrating the heart of the enemy's ship, sabotaging their most vital system. For the first time since the invasion began, she felt like they had a fighting chance. Just as the last device was set, an alarm blared throughout the ship. The team had been detected. A breach had been triggered in the security system. Panic flashed in Captain Hayes's mind, but she kept her focus. "Move, now," she shouted. They ran for the exit, their cloaks flickering as the guards closed in. The sound of heavy footsteps echoed behind them, but they didn't slow down. They had done their job. The communications were down, and the aliens had no way to coordinate their next moves. As the soldiers made their escape, they heard a deafening roar from the vengeful sovereign. The alien fleet was in chaos. Without the ability to communicate effectively, the ships were becoming disoriented. Orders were delayed, and the normally coordinated strikes of the Galactic Empire became fractured. For the first time, the Empire had been thrown into confusion. Humanity had suffered a blow, but the fight had only just begun. And as the alien fleet loomed above, Earth's response was not one of fear, but of determination. The first wave of destruction was just the beginning, and Earth's true power had yet to be unleashed. The war for humanity's survival had only just begun, the war for Earth seemed hopeless. The alien fleet had ravaged the planet, decimating cities and obliterating humanity's first lines of defense. Every day, Earth's forces struggled against the overwhelming might of the Galactic Empire. But in the midst of despair, something unexpected happened. Something no one had anticipated. In the heart of Earth's military command center, a small group of elite soldiers were preparing for a mission that could change everything. These soldiers were not part of the regular army, they were a specialized task force, selected for their ingenuity, bravery, and unique skill sets. Their mission was dangerous, perhaps even suicidal, but it was the only chance Earth had left. The soldiers were equipped with newly designed cloaking technology, something humanity had been working on since the first alien strike. Unlike the conventional invisibility cloaks seen in science fiction, these cloaks were a mix of advanced technology and Earth's own ingenuity. The cloaks weren't perfect, detection still existed, but they could mask a soldier's presence long enough to carry out a mission, and that was all the team needed. The task force had been given one objective: infiltrate the vengeful sovereign, Commander Zarek's flagship, and sabotage the alien fleet's communications network. If they succeeded, they could throw the Empire into disarray, causing confusion and disrupting their coordinated attacks on Earth. It wasn't much, but it was a start. The team's leader, Captain Sarah Hayes, stood before her squad, her eyes steely with determination. She knew the risks. If they were caught, there would be no escape. But the world depended on them. "We may not have their power or their technology," she said, her voice low but resolute, "but we've got something they can't understand, our will to fight. We've got this." The soldiers nodded, their faces grim but focused. They wore the latest in Earth's advanced combat gear, weapons designed to deal with threats both alien and mechanical. But the most important piece of equipment they carried was the cloaking device, a fragile piece of technology that could give them just enough time to get in, do the job, and get out. The mission began under the cover of darkness, as the alien fleet was still preoccupied with their bombardment of Earth. The soldiers boarded a stealth ship, using their cloaks to avoid detection by the Empire's advanced sensors. The vengeful sovereign was a fortress in space, heavily guarded and almost impossible to penetrate. Yet, through a series of clever maneuvers and careful planning, the task force managed to sneak aboard the warship undetected. As the alien warships entered Earth's atmosphere, the skies darkened. It was as if the sun had been eclipsed, leaving the planet in an unnatural twilight. Alien ships began to hover over major cities, New York, London, Beijing, sending shockwaves of panic through every corner of the world. The first wave of attacks began with terrifying speed and precision. Massive energy blasts rained down from the skies, turning skyscrapers into rubble and causing widespread chaos. The destruction was unlike anything humanity had ever experienced. It was as if the very foundation of civilization was being shattered. In the military bunkers, human leaders watched the destruction unfold in real time. They saw the iconic landmarks of their world fall, buildings crumbling to dust, fires consuming entire city blocks, and citizens running in terror. Earth's first lines of defense had been wiped out in mere minutes. The missile strike, which had caused only a minor ripple in the alien fleet's operations, seemed like a distant memory now. But while the humans were still reeling from the shock of the initial attack, they were not entirely unprepared. Across the globe, hidden defense systems activated. Massive energy shields rose over key cities, protecting them from the worst of the alien bombardment. Anti-aircraft weapons, though outdated compared to the alien firepower, began firing in desperation. Thousands of soldiers mobilized, scrambling to defend the planet with whatever weapons they had at their disposal. It was clear that these initial defenses weren't enough. Earth's military was woefully outmatched, but the human spirit, the determination to survive, began to shine through. The world was not ready to give up just yet. In the chaos, the world's citizens did what they could to survive. Families took shelter in basements and underground bunkers, trying to stay out of sight from the aliens above. Communication networks were flooded with news of the attacks, but governments struggled to maintain control. The entire planet was in disarray, with people frantically trying to flee the cities, while the military did everything they could to fight back. As the alien ships continued their assault, Commander Zarek stood on the bridge of the vengeful Sovereign, watching Earth burn. He felt a sense of satisfaction, but it was tempered by an unfamiliar feeling: respect. The humans were proving to be more resilient than he had expected. Their weapons, though primitive in comparison to the Empire's technology, were relentless. The first wave of bombardment had been successful, but Earth's forces were not giving up. Zarek's eyes narrowed as he watched the humans scramble to fight back. He had underestimated them, but he would not make that mistake again. The Galactic Empire had long ago conquered planets with far more advanced civilizations, and they had done so with ease. Earth, however, was different. The humans were not surrendering quietly. They were fighting back. In his mind, Zarek knew that this war would not be as easy as he had thought. He would need to adapt, to rethink his strategy. But for now, the first strike had been successful. Earth's cities were in ruins, and the aliens had made their dominance known. The world watched in horror as the skies continued to rain fire, and the ground below trembled under the weight of the alien ships. Humanity's hope was fading fast, but it was not gone completely. Back on the ground, Earth's leaders met to assess the situation. Despite the devastation, there was a growing sense of unity among the nations. People were coming together, setting aside differences, and realizing that this was no longer a war of nations, it was a war for the survival of the human race. The enemy was beyond anything they had ever faced, but they would not go down without a fight. As the world watched, Earth's military leaders began to strategize their next moves, knowing that every second counted. And as the alien fleet prepared to move in for the kill, the humans began their preparations in earnest. The fight for Earth had just begun, and the Empire had no idea what they were in for. The stars seemed to grow dimmer as the alien fleet descended closer to Earth. The Galactic Empire, an ancient and highly advanced civilization that spanned across multiple star systems, was here. They had ruled countless planets for millennia, crushing any race they deemed inferior. Their power was absolute, their weapons devastating, and their intelligence unmatched. Now, they had set their sights on Earth, a small, insignificant planet in the vastness of space, but one that had begun to show signs of defiance. It was time for the final strike. At the heart of the Empire's military operations stood Commander Zarek, a feared and ruthless warlord who had crushed countless civilizations in the name of the Galactic Empire. His name alone struck fear into the hearts of those who heard it, and his reputation as a strategist and conqueror was legendary. Zarek had been chosen for one reason: he would ensure Earth's destruction. He would not allow this small, stubborn race to continue its existence any longer. Zarek's warship, the Vengeful Sovereign, was the most powerful vessel in the entire fleet, and with it, he was tasked with the mission to obliterate Earth. As the fleet made its final approach, Earth's leaders scrambled to respond. The situation was dire: humanity was no match for the technological might of the Galactic Empire. The alien warships were unlike anything Earth had ever seen: massive, sleek, and heavily armed. Their weapons could reduce entire cities to rubble in the blink of an eye. The humans had no such power. Their largest warships were nothing more than a fraction of the size and strength of the alien ships, and their most advanced technology was nowhere near a match for the Empire's sophisticated weaponry. But humanity had something the Galactic Empire did not understand: resourcefulness. They might not have had the advanced alien technology, but Earth's people had a long history of surviving against all odds. From early space exploration to the incredible breakthroughs in artificial intelligence, humans had a knack for creating new technologies when it seemed like all hope was lost. Now, that history of resilience was about to pay off. In secret laboratories, hidden deep underground, Earth's top scientists, engineers, and military strategists worked day and night. They knew time was running out, and they had to come up with something, anything, that could give them a fighting chance. While the rest of the world watched in confusion and fear, these experts worked tirelessly to build weapons, shields, and devices that could potentially level the playing field. Drawing inspiration from Earth's rich history of invention, the humans began to innovate. They took old designs from past wars, combining them with the latest advancements in energy shielding, AI, and propulsion. They reverse-engineered the alien technology they had stolen after the first missile strike and used it to build makeshift defenses. The humans were creating their own weapons of war, but they were running out of time. But despite their tireless efforts, there was little that could be done to prepare the planet for the full force of the Galactic Empire. The alien fleet was already on the move. No matter how much technology Earth's best minds could create, the first wave of alien attacks was coming, and it was inevitable that cities would fall. The world could only watch in horror as the first signs of invasion began. Was ready, but it had never been tested in battle. It was humanity's final hope. With bated breath, the military gave the order to launch. The missile shot up into the sky, cutting through the atmosphere and aiming directly for one of the alien ships at the front of the fleet. At first, it seemed like a futile gesture. The missile was small and crude compared to the vast warships it was targeting. The alien fleet was far beyond anything Earth had ever faced, and the missile, though powerful, was unlikely to have any effect. The alien ships, with their advanced shields and automated systems, could easily intercept and destroy the missile long before it reached its target. But as the missile neared the enemy fleet, something unexpected happened. The alien ships failed to intercept it in time. There was a moment of confusion among the fleet's commanders. A small, human-made weapon had breached their defenses, barely, but enough to cause alarm. The missile collided with one of the ships, sending shockwaves through its structure. The explosion was nowhere near enough to destroy the massive vessel, but the damage was done. It was a direct hit, and it sent a clear message. The humans were not as helpless as the Empire thought. On the alien flagship, Commander Zarek stood in stunned silence. He had expected the missile to be intercepted easily, but Earth had caught them off guard. The blast was a mere scratch on the ship's armor, but the fact that a human weapon had penetrated their defenses was enough to shake the confidence of the Empire's leadership. They had underestimated Earth, and now they would pay the price. For the first time in the history of their empire, the aliens had been wounded. It wasn't much, but it was something. It was a spark, an ember of defiance in the face of certain destruction. Back on Earth, the news of the missile's launch quickly spread. Most people didn't realize the significance of what had just happened. They saw the explosion on their screens and heard the reports of a failed strike against the alien fleet. But in the heart of Earth's military command centers, there was a shift. That small missile, that insignificant attempt at resistance, had done more than just send a signal. It had shown that humanity was capable of more than just surrendering. Across the globe, as the missile strike was broadcast on news outlets, people began to wake up. They saw the explosion in the sky, and for the first time, they realized that Earth wasn't going to sit idly by and let its fate be sealed. The world may have been unprepared, but the spark of defiance had been lit. It wasn't much, but it was enough to give humanity something they hadn't had in years, a chance. The alien fleet was still on its way, and Earth's defenses were still woefully inadequate, but humanity had taken the first step. They had sent a message: Earth would not be erased without a fight. In the silence that followed, as the alien ships continued their slow approach, one thing became clear: the humans had just begun. The spark had been lit, and no matter how overwhelming the odds, Earth would find a way to fan it into a blaze. The Galactic Empire may have thought they could wipe out humanity without a second thought, but they were about to learn a hard lesson: never underestimate Earth. The sky above Earth was silent, too silent for comfort. A massive alien fleet hovered in orbit, casting long shadows over the planet below. Their ships were enormous, sleek, and far more advanced than anything humanity had ever built. Their engines hummed with an almost predatory energy, as if the entire fleet was waiting for the moment to strike. The fleet was here for one reason and one reason only: Earth was marked for extinction. High above the Earth's atmosphere, a council of the galaxy's most powerful civilizations, creatures from planets far beyond the stars, had gathered in secret. They had watched humanity for centuries, studying its progress with growing concern. They had seen humanity's rapid development, from the early days of rockets to the astonishing rise of artificial intelligence and advanced weaponry. And they had decided. The humans were a threat. Too resourceful, too capable, and far too unpredictable for their own good. The decision had been made: Earth would be destroyed. It was a simple calculation: wipe out the human race before they could become an even bigger problem. No one would ever see it coming. The Galactic Empire's fleet would make quick work of the planet, leaving nothing but ruins in their wake. Back on Earth, the world was still blissfully unaware of the looming danger. The news was filled with the usual stories: politics, entertainment, the occasional natural disaster. Humanity lived its daily routine, unaware of the silent threat building above them. But for those who worked in secret, in the shadows of global power, the situation was far more urgent. In underground bunkers, military strategists and brilliant scientists huddled over screens, tracking the incoming fleet with growing horror. The data was undeniable. The aliens had arrived. They were here. Earth had no chance against their advanced technology. The alien ships had weapons capable of eradicating entire cities in seconds, while humanity's best defense could only hope to cause a minor inconvenience. Earth's military forces were outmatched and outgunned, and there was no time to develop anything that could stand against the oncoming storm. The world's leaders met in a secure location, debating what to do. Some suggested fleeing to the underground bunkers, hoping to survive the oncoming assault. Others were already preparing for the worst, instructing citizens to evacuate major cities and retreat to the countryside. But even the best plans would not save them from the inevitable. In a hidden laboratory, the top minds of Earth's scientists and engineers scrambled to find a way to fight back. They had been working for months, even years, on a secret project, a weapon that could, perhaps, turn the tide. But even they knew how slim the chances were. The weapon they had designed was experimental, untested, and likely ineffective against an enemy with superior technology. But it was all they had. As the fleet of alien ships grew closer, the humans knew they had to act fast. The missile.